Can the bounty leech?
Doom gains EXP right away, and he gets a gold after he's digested the creep.
But does it work where bounty can actually leech the experience of the devoured creep?
Yeah.
It should?
You can, yeah, if you stand next to Doom, you share EXP on it, so Doom wants to be alone when he eats creeps.
I'm just wondering, like, is that mental thing?
Yeah.
Like, does he actually gain it because he's like gulping it down instead of? I suppose it's still a legitimate kill on a neutral.
Yeah, as soon as he eats it, he's gonna get the EXP, and which means his bounty hunter just needs to stand there next to him. But I don't think Doom is a hero that cares too much about having EXP leech from the bounty hunter. It's more about him getting the actual creep that he wants. Most camps won't give you level 2 anyway, and the good thing about it is he's going to know right away that the bounty hunter is there, and that could actually be a better trade where Doom gets intel on where the bounty hunter is. He'll notice that he just ate a level 5 creep, and his EXP bar only budged a little. Be like, okay, bounty hunter's here, leeching EXP from me.
A lot more obvious than just a slow progressive farm. Okay, so I also want to watch this on the top lane because, and sorry, I'm gonna do this a lot tonight where I referred to a lot of what Swindle said when we were casting. But I want to see what he does because he keeps talking about doing a 4 treant move to top lane to ensure 100% that you can pull the lane down. And you get instant level 2 on it. So right now he's actually scouting out all of enemy with 1 treant.
Easy CS, first blood for enemy.
30 seconds to battle.
Oh, Z-Freak, I think he's been scouted out. I mean, they didn't have vision from enemy, but they kind of guessed it, perhaps, over the tree line. That's a common place where bounty hunter starts the game.
It's kind of also amusing, because a lot of the European teams normally set up like an obs and a sentry right next to where Frozen is right now. And they'll hide in the tree line just to the left of it, and wait for the bounty to walk through. And you get pretty much instant first blood if you do that. But Z-Freak's actually in a spot where he is a long way away from home. He's going to come down and actually show himself for the dire creep wave as well.
That is something I haven't seen with Boots vs Bounty Hunter, being the treants for Nature's Prophet.
The treants, there's one treant still on its way, but that treant's coming in to block up the camp. So he wants to keep that one alive, and if... Okay, I think he realized that treant's not going to be able to stay alive. Actually, yeah, well, it's going to stay alive and block up the camp, and Z-Freak waits for the courier.
Yeah.
This is just shenanigans right now.
Yeah, it's a really efficient route to take. You basically play the role of the treants for the Nature's Prophet, and then you're at mid. And the courier, even if enemy are aware that the bounty hunter is going to snipe the courier, they have to just sit it at the base until a support goes and gets the items from it. But yeah, the idea behind Z-Freak's movement just now was to double wave the creeps from the dire top lane. This could potentially be dangerous if enemy had some kind of hero that is very good at diving under the tower, like an Earth Spirit, for example.
But they're running a 4-position Doombringer.
Yeah, exactly. With only a Sven and a Witch Doctor, this should be easy EXP for Swindles.
Zebra's managed to find himself like level 2. Z-Freak didn't leech any of this, but he definitely hasn't had free movement throughout his jungle. Z-Freak's also going to see the courier. I don't think he can make the run though. Like even with his boots, maybe he can. The courier's going to go straight through it and snipe. That only brought out the salve though. That was the initial salve the Invoker bought at the very start of the game. And Flying Zebra is on the hunt. He really wants to find Z-Freak, but he can't. He doesn't have a control.
Yeah. Interesting that enemy still lost a courier. They should have known very well that the bounty hunter was close by, and surely they saw that he had a boots build and over at bottom, so everyone kind of close to dying there, but Time Walk saves him.
Z-Freak just keeps the rotation going. I'm like, the bounty's not getting a lot of levels out of this. I know we're 2 minutes into the game so far. And his movements kind of caused it so the Doombringer's looking behind himself all the time. But this is a Doombringer. He's going to catch up, right?
Yeah. but it might take a bit longer to catch up than. Oh
Slayer.
wow, these are some super defensive TPs from enemy.
They brought a lot into this. And then they actually try and cold snap the Sunstrike. It's right on target to hit Limp, and that's going to give first blood. Defensive TPs or not, they actually first blood up the puck.
I was gonna say not worth for enemy, but if it's a first blood, perhaps it was a big commitment, so they kind of needed that first blood. Otherwise, it would have been a complete waste of their time.
They're instantly going to turn it into a rotation down to bot lane. Chessie has been getting harassed out a lot by Sovereign, but Hanskin's actually going to be the man who triggers off the smoke. Chessie just needs to get himself back right now. At the time, walk forward. Wave of Terror is going to remove that armor for the Doom. He's down at -3, but Chessie, that stun works so well. Also in combination to get that Infernal Blade off.
Hanskin was in a good spot to break that smoke, but Chessie kind of slow to respond, I would say. I think he could have just backed right away, but he didn't quite fully respect the roaming potential of the level 2 Doom. That skill does so much damage at level 1 in Infernal Blade. So when it first came out, I looked at it, I was like, okay, it just does percent damage of your max HP. Probably not that efficient, but then I looked again, it was like base burn damage 40. So it's basically a 200 damage nuke.
It's also the fact he had the Alpha Wolf creep inside of him when he threw it out. I don't know if he actually crit with any of his attacks. My eyes weren't watching that closely. But still, just one of those things where enemy, like, they're gonna be really happy. Good rotations. You take out the safe laner, you take out the mid laner of complexity.
Over at mid, I think Z-Freak knows that it's been time for the courier to respawn.
That's a lot on the courier.
If he kills the courier, this will be hilarious.
He's got it.
He will.
He's actually got it.
Oh my god. It's gonna tilt Invoker so hard. He's had 5 minutes of gameplay without a courier, basically.
That was his boots, his glove of haste, an extra clarity, and a magic stick. 1100 worth of Invoker's items. So right now his net worth, like, it looks like it's 1800, but in reality, he's sitting at 700 net worth to the 2.3k of Limp.
I mean, in the earlier stages, we're only talking about 5 minutes, but you generally expect your mid player to have boots at 5 minutes, especially against a lineup like the Bounty Hunter and the Puck, who you have to be so careful about in terms of positioning. This should kind of change the way Invoker plays this lane, because he doesn't have that boots that he takes for a given.
Interesting. They sent Swindles back to base. He used the TP scroll so he can still TP up to this top lane. That's exactly what they're doing. Using the Dream Core to try and catch up this Sven with the all forward into a double silence. The paralyzing cast already bouncing around, causing a lot of problems here for Complexity's chase. And when Flying Zebra turns on the Scorched Earth and Quelling Blade, he'll cut through. Took a second to do that though. And Complexity just bailing out here. The Sunstrike pretty much on target to kill off Swindles. He's got the movement speed thanks to the phase boots, and Sven also came in too close because of this as well. Limp looking for the extra damage. They got the war cry. Frozen very, very low at the moment. They'll actually trigger off a couple of charges, and is there enough now for Puck to catch up to the Sven? Killing off the Doombringer will definitely be a nice thing to do, but they have to go into the tree line to do it. Support's coming over. The Wave of Terror from Hanskin, not to mention gets the magic missile over on Sven. Has to use the Mango, but Swindles in so quickly with his TP, returning up to that top lane. And now they got Sovereign trapped at the tree line. It was 2-0 in favor of enemy, and now Complexity. They'll lose Swindles underneath the tier 1 tower. But the orb will hit Witch Doctor, no jaunt out. There's not enough mana actually for the Puck to get himself out of here. Same for Hanskin. So it looks like enemy are going to get some sweet, sweet revenge now. Puck still needs another 1 second before he can TP. So he'll phase shift the paralyzing cast. Is there anything? No, there's not. He barely escapes from this. But that was a crazy trade-off. That ended up being a 3 for 2.
It was a much better trade-off for Complexity for sure. They took the initiative. First of all, they are pressuring the Sven lane. Sven is one of those heroes that the earlier you pressure Sven, it's a kind of a team effort thing. Just look at his items. He doesn't have that Helm of Dom, which he would have liked to just farm in the lane peacefully, but Complexity brought the fight to them so early, and all that time Drow Ranger was not part of the fight, but she was being of great assistance for maxed out aura, and she getting the level 6 early on.
Not just that, the fact you were able to remove both of the hard lane towers of enemy, and there was no reply.
There couldn't be because they were so focused on the top. So even if Complexity possibly lost 1 or 2 more heroes, just aggression was so good from them.
So I was waiting to see if Z-Freak was going to get the courier, but Frozen was more defensive and backed up almost the tier 3 tower to get the wards of the courier. These towers just drop so quickly.
Yeah, also Z-Freak got a good chunk of the XP from that top fight. He survived through a good portion of it, and before he was he didn't have any source of EXP, but now with one more team fight he's possibly going to get level 6. Complexity just going into the Roche Pit straight on, knowing that with the 2 bottom towers pushed on Dire side, they have so much more control.
Well, they've still got all the damage. Bounty just walked underneath one of the sentry wards, which was planted in mid, scouting him out. But with the trees in position, they put an observer ward up on the hillside. They've got Nagus Immortal on the back of Chessie, and this is something which you'll see Complexity do all the time. They highly prioritize whenever you think is the time for Sven to start stacking and flash farming. They're going to ward off the Ancients. They do this around the 7 to 8 minute mark in almost all of their games that they're up against an Ancient Clearer.
Yeah, I think every team should do that playing against Sven, because Sven, to me, is a hit or miss hero. It either just wrecks the game, or is like you regret picking Sven because you get pressured so early and you don't get to use any of the hero's benefits of being able to flash farm Ancients. And earlier, that I think Z-Freak intentionally, not intentionally died, but he was intentionally in a very risky position because Bounty Hunter is probably the least impactful guy for the Roach Pit, whereas the other heroes are ranged. They provide important stuff like the Wave of Terror.
It's number 3! Oh, Z-Freak! Oh, he was so close! I thought it was going to be the 3rd courier death. Losing the courier 3 times in the space of 10 minutes would have been pretty insulting. Limp, gonna get chronoed up, the Sunstrike's there. Invoker, have they got enough? Phase Shift's gonna go, he can't join himself away in time. So the puck will die.
Perhaps with Fairy Fire used, he might have survived. But I don't really blame him. That was a very panicky moment for Puck. He was so close. I think he could have tried for the orb first, and then eat a Fairy Fire orb, Phase Shift, and see his luck.
Unfortunately for him, he'll go down. Troll Ranger in the meantime is farming up the Ancients. The top lane's being kept at bay by Swindles. And Sven, he did go for the max up and cleave. So Swindles can't keep his army of treants there forever. But with the catapult that was also turned, I think that actually belongs, it belongs to the Sven. He dominated up that catapult.
It has 1400 HP. It's gonna make it tricky for Swindles the last hit. He's like, why is this catapult so tanky?
Difficult to catch. But the T1 towers now within deny range. It's a pretty tempting bait for enemy, but they're not taking it. Instead, Hunt's gonna limp. You're gonna have to walk into the Dire jungle or up behind that T1 tower to find a kill. Frozen's the one who actually just went up into the tree line. And Swindle will be very happy. Okay, does this orb see? It saw him. It saw him. Last moment, it actually saw him. Looks like Bounty's going to go down again. And it is the smoke. They just smoked on top of Patreon, however. So this movement speed will allow them to reach the top a little bit quicker. But your Witch Doctor just left.
Yeah, Complexity should be pretty aware of this. In any case, I think they are fine with bringing the fight to the top lane because
Swindles, maybe not so aware. He's going to get doomed up. Hunt's going to swap him away to safety. The Dream Cult holding in so much of enemy at the moment. The Doom's already gone down, but here comes BSJ in through the rear. Swindle still alive at the moment. He's just wearing off the Doom and comes back in for some physical damage. But now the Void looks for a Chrono. Catches out 3, but gets isolated by Sprite. He'll cut his way through with that Iron Talon, but Swindles with that Wrath of Nature. The damage just bounces straight through. Finds the kill as he TP's back. And Enemy will take 5 heroes. But no losses. What a team fight. I say no losses, it was the Aegis to the Immortal only.
Yeah, but for that kind of trade, definitely worth. That was a really nicely used Aegis. Limp in the front, Chessie in the front line, tanking. You could just tell he doesn't really care. He hopes to get gone on. He make good use of that Aegis. I think that fight, Complexity were more than ready for it. They invited that fight because they want the fight to happen away, like from where Sven wants to be farming, which is usually near the Ancients area. Yeah, he does have the Helm of Dom. He could potentially take the Ancient stacks, which are not stack. I mean, I think he took the previous stack, but this is looking like a really convincing win on its way for Complexity. Their timings are just spot on right now. The Bounty Hunter gets the track, so the next fight could potentially be a disaster for Enemy if Z-Freak gets more than 2 tracks off.
I guess then they're just rolling in the money, but it's even more beyond that. It's the power window which Complexity have hit. This is the beauty of the Drow Ranger. She's about to hit level 11, so you're going to increase that agility up by another 20. And she's already giving 44 plus damage to all the other cores. So when you're on a phase boot Nature's Prophet, you're hitting it. And like at this rate, he's rapidly approaching the 200 damage with every single hit. Plus he's got the attack speed that comes out from his minus. The drums buff up will be there too. And he's already got a level 2 Wrath of Nature, 14 minutes in. They got so much burst damage from him. And then you look at Limp, who's going to amplify this. He's actually picking up what looks to be a Veil of Discord. Swindles really caught out. And he'll go down here.
That ward from the Dire ward next to the top tier 1 Radiant, that ward actually gave him vision to use a cold snap. Big kill for Enemy, but sad to say, I don't think it's enough. They need more right now to come back into this game. This Complexity have so much going for them, whereas Enemy, their cooldown, they are a very cooldown based team right now. Their Chrono faces Void. He is on his way to Vlad's, but he probably wants a lot more items than that if they want to go late into this game.
Chrono. They're looking for any kind of quick pick 10. That VS is really tanky. She's still going to go down no matter what.
Inferno takes you.
But that's just another good pick for Enemy. They buy themselves some breathing room.
Oh, and Swindle's Wrath of Nature kind of reveals that they have vision there. I don't know how he had vision there. The ward was, the Radiant ward was on the secret shop here.
Was it a treant? Like a last moment treant? Actually no, it couldn't have been that because he was dead beforehand. Yeah. Actually no, he had one that would have just timed out in the bottom lane too.
And Swindles with the Vlad's pickup, I think Complexity are going to try to end the game very soon, possibly with the second Roche. They don't want to go too late with this lineup against what Enemy have. They just want to end it when they are peaking. Drow is level 11, you have Sanj and Yasha, you have like multiple aura items, you have like Avenge aura, you have Lads, you have Drum.
I think Complexity also understand that if this game does go late, that they're not going to be in the greatest position because you are still running a 4-core lineup from Enemy. If they can find the space to farm up, the Doombringer can obviously find it. If he can get a couple more points up in Devour, he's going to find some good cash. First, there's Ven who can flash farm really quickly. And the Invoker who's, like, he's always a big nuisance. In this game, not so much. In fact, right now he's just trying to deal with a split push, that's why he picks up BTs as his first primary item. As opposed to something else which is more controlling and teamfight orientated.
And it looks like Handskin's drawing up the map, they are pretty aware of what's going on. But they are pushing the top and mid lane so fast that I don't even think Enemy can get a trade off of this in terms of getting the bottom tier 1 from Complexity.
They're being sieged everywhere.
Yeah, I don't expect Complexity to actually go high ground. They're so close to spawning Roche.
Oh, maybe when they find moments like that, they just killed off an Invoker. If they go high ground now, they actually can force a buyback, as long as they don't get caught out by Chronosphere. They can actually try and force a buyback. So Swindles just summons up his army.
They know they have Chrono on enemy, but their main follow-up to Chrono is dead right now on the Invoker, so... But still, they're gonna respect the fact that they don't have... It's so close to the second Roche spawn, and so early into the game, Invoker might buy back for that.
They couldn't force it hard enough though. So he holds on to his money.
Yeah.
But the gold advantage is starting, like it was already pretty much out of control. Enemy over the course of the last 5 minutes has managed to throttle it a little bit, but it's still going up again in favor of Complexity by about 2k. And the experience is also climbing. They're back in through top, Swindles, TP's up. Liv's just trying to take out the tower, so every time enemy is considering jumping in for Roshan, they always have a reason why they have to turn around.
Yeah, they are... This is one of the greatest things about Nature's Prophet. It feels like even though Complexity on their Radiant side, they have the Roche advantage because of the way Swindles is able to pressure this top lane. One thing that's really going well for enemy is their ward position right now. They have like a triangular position between the Roche pit and the Radiant jungle, and with the Roche coming up so soon, they're going to have really good intel on where Complexity's heroes are going when they are trying to go for the Roche, possibly scout out a smoke attempt.
I haven't seen it yet. We will have a moment now in mid lane where Zebra gets initiated on. It's just more harassment than anything else. And you just drop that Doom, bring it down to half life without really risking a single hero, while taking out the catapult, which enemy were desperately trying to use to keep tabs on what's happening inside the pit. And as you said, like they do have that perfect like Trinity kind of triangle thing, but
yeah, they're coordinating their movement right now. As they kill the catapult, they expect enemy to somewhat respond to it. They're like, okay, they're killing our catapult. We don't have vision in the Roche pit, and they back out. And at the same time, Swindles makes Mertrians at top, pushes in that lane. So they have so many things to focus on from enemy.
And then Jesse takes care of the bottom. Mid lane, faces Void. God, that Wrath of Nature. When they have the Veil of Discord as well, and you hit both of your abilities from the puck, has so much damage. And that's all Complexity we're waiting for. One pick, and they go for Roshan. Countered by the Sunstrike, but that's not going to be able to stop much.
It's going to be an easy Roche as well. Fast Roche at that. That was actually a really nice combo. Puck is one of the heroes that I've been talking to. My good friend Sunbi, my former teammate, he mentioned that the Veil on Puck is one of the really strong items that makes this hero viable, and just now I witnessed the power of Veil Puck into a combo from Wrath of Nature. Sick stuff. And now with that Aegis, they can really good chip damage to the tower. I'm calling it chip damage for now because they are sort of waiting for the Nature's Prophet to push in the top lane more.
Yeah.
So in case that they do successfully push this tower, they're gonna have an easier time getting more out of it.
I'm wondering if Swindles actually comes and joins them straight away, because his army of trees doesn't really help pushing up against this Ved. In fact, more than often than not, it just feeds. So we might actually have to go down to the bot. Yeah, he goes down the bottom lane, keeps the side lanes pressured out, so enemy always just feel like they have to stay inside their base. There's still money coming their way of Complexity. They're still slowly working towards the end goal, which is to take out tier 3 tower and then potentially Rax. But in the meantime, enemy have all 5 players that have to just like hide inside their base. They just cannot get out of here.
Yeah, this is so good for Complexity though, because as you mentioned, enemy they practically have 4 cores, and all this time that they are in their base is time not farming. Whereas Complexity, they've already hit their peak. They have all the items that they need. They don't care about farm too much. I mean, Chessie is he's getting good farm as he's pressuring the high ground.
Swindles may actually care. He's 500 gold away from a full assault Cuirass. That Curry's actually sitting there waiting for it. With this tower, wow, Chessie, he just missed like 2 times uphill. 3 times uphill. Okay, BSJ. Do you want to? He's having second thoughts about this. The Assault Cuirass is still now purchased, so they'll have that, and there goes the town denial. But on bottom lane, Swindles triggers the drum charge. He's almost soloing up the Invoker. He went in Viz, but That doesn't stop the AoE damage of the park. A little bit further to the west, Hanskin initiated on the Chronospear, still battle, catching Chessie as well as Z-Freak. Now into the Death Ward. It's in range to actually hit Hanskin. He swapped out the Faceless Void, but just didn't do enough, so the VS will die for the cause. Meanwhile, Swindles is still having his own little party on bottom lane. He's almost finished up the melee racks. The Doom is finally out, but it's over on a Puck who's taking him through the damage. The bounty will drop as well. So there's 2 supports down, and no one's stopping Swindles. He's currently destroying your home, and they have to turn around and deal with him. The Rax is gone.
Yeah, and they didn't even lose the Aegis under Drow. I think they can go for more. Swindles doesn't have mana though.
Oh, they're jumping out. Chessie, that Gust is stopping any kind of real channel there, and that's what this Ven was looking for, but then he already let the Stormbolt off. One more attack from Chessie. He does bring down this Ven. While Faceless Void also taking a fall, Swindles just stands his ground. This game is like you're seeing a difference in the level of farm. It's almost like complexity. Have like 5, 6 different levels like on top of the enemy players, but so much that's also money. Wow, Swindles. He's really doing this? How many times do you also get a BT Nature's Prophet? Shows you the speed of this game. All 5 dead, GG. 23 minutes.
GG call. Yeah.
Boots of Travel and Phase Group Prophet. Thoughts?
I mean, he knew the game was over. You just have a pretty good feeling. I'm sure Complexity are quite familiar with this lineup, or at least the pace of the Drow game, and when you have like that kind of Rax timing without any casualties, you basically know that the game has been over. It's gonna end. It's just a matter of the opponents actually typing the GG. But I really like this game. Honestly, I saw some really nice combos between the Puck and the Wrath of Nature. I've been asking somebody like